Hello, folks. It's Marc Gallagher here, and I just thought I'd check in because it's been a while. And for those who are wondering where I've been in terms of like the lack of content and stuff over the last few months, it's been a turbulent time, and I want to just kind of chat very candidly to you about everything. This has been a turbulent year for me, 2023. In large part due to like me having to move house. I lived in Manchester for 8 years and at one house for about 7 years, and I got kicked out because the landlord was selling, and that was terrible, and it sucked for me because I enjoyed and was very comfortable where I was, and I just started making things feel like home, and I had to uproot everything, and that was an ordeal. But it led me to this place in Malton, which is a small village outside of Northwich, and I've really enjoyed in the 6 months or so since I came here, like how acquainted I got with village life, going on nice walk routes, and being able to adopt my dog and to starting just spending a lot of time in this sort of community, and I've really loved that. Unfortunately, it's not been quite plain sailing because I have, as with this house, since before I moved in, it's got like little damp patches, and I've even got like the video of my viewing when I was looking at this house for the first time, which showed some of these issues, and I spent about 6 months chasing these up to get ignored for 6 months. Finally, there was a contractor who came in and he evaluated it and said, "Yeah, this place is going to need stripping and putting back together again." And my landlord, rather than do what a landlord should do, which is put me up elsewhere and get the things fixed, that's not what's happened. And she's just sold the place. And despite me having a fixed term tenancy, despite me being paid up until the end of April next year, I've got to be out by the 20th of January, which is like, it's crap because I've had to go through this process twice in 1 year, one calendar year, to be doing that mad rush looking around for somewhere to live. And it's been challenging for a lot of reasons. And you know, it just really reduces my faith in landlords. I have no faith in even a fixed term 12-month tenancy. I have no faith in those. So it's been challenging now. I understand as well, like, I don't have the upper hand when it comes to applying to rent somewhere as a single person who is self employed and now has a pet. I can understand why a landlord would choose, say, a couple who are both in salaried employment over me. I understand it, but it just sucks. And I've looked at dozens of places, probably about a couple of dozen places, before finally finding what should hopefully be the one. At the time of recording, I have paid a holding deposit on a property in Crewe, at Spring Gardens in Crewe. Crewe is its own thing and it's not the nicest of areas, but it's closer to Nantwich, my hometown. It's about 5 miles away from where I grew up, which is nice. And the house itself is quite nice from everything that I have seen. So I'm just waiting for them to do referencing and just clear me, basically. And it's a nice place. It's top of my budget. They added £30 a month because of the dog, which is great, sure, whatever at this point. But at least, fingers crossed, I'll get cleared, accepted, and I can just start the move and then packing this studio down. And yeah, so Crewe is. I liked this area really very much because everything I needed was only half an hour away. Warrington, Congleton, Chester, Crewe, and Nantwich. They're all just 30 minutes away. Manchester's like 40 minutes away. Now that I'm going to be moving to Crewe, Manchester's going to be a bit further out of reach, which is annoying because that's where I had a lot of work and a lot of my contacts in just the music scene there. And it sucks that I'm not going to have that same thing going forward. But Oh well, them's the breaks, as the kids would say. However, the house moving stuff isn't the only turbulent thing that has been happening with me recently. And I'm gonna tell you a story and just take you back to the end of August. I think it was August the 31st. And I received a something came through the mail, came through the post, and it was a brown envelope, and it was my name and address that was handwritten in blue biro, and the top right hand corner had a purple stamp that was franked. And I opened this envelope, and within it was a white piece of paper folded into thirds, blank piece of paper. And within this was a check addressed to me from a Mrs. F.M. Crow for £2,700. Now, I don't know who Mrs. F.M. Crow is or why she sent me the money, especially that kind of money, but she sent it. She addressed it to me and deliberately sent this to me. It wasn't like a typo in a bank transfer or something. So I only told two people at the time. I told my mum and I told my best friend, just to be like my mum, I was like, hey, if you need anything, I've got you. And she took me up on that offer. I did a couple little things like help put one of the dogs down. Fun stuff like that. And I told my best friend just to be like in the sheer what the fuck element of this. I went to the bank, cashed the check in, because if it bounced, fair enough, no harm, no foul. But if it cleared and it was all good, then great. Maybe it was just like a tip from an anonymous tip from like a big hell of a super fan or something. I don't fucking know, but they deliberately meant to send me this thing. So I cashed the check in, and a few days later, it cleared. Happy days, like I'm living my life with an extra £2,700. I invest in myself. I get things like a couple of nice microphones. I get things like a new saxophone. I'll do a video on saxophone in due course. But I've carried on living my life with this extra cash and stuff. And then a few weeks ago, I'm recording this on Wednesday, the 13th of December. So end of November-ish, so about 3 months after I received this money, my bank account got blocked. I was trying to pay in some cash from gigs and I couldn't. So I called, and then they asked me about this check, about the payment I had. And I didn't lie. I told them what I just told you. I don't know who she is. I don't know why she sent me this money, but she has sent it to me deliberately, wrote my address, and correctly spelled my name and everything, so it's serious. And they said, okay, we give you benefit of the doubt. And I'm like, okay, thank God. So we're going to take the money anyway. And I'm like, it's just terrible timing while I'm in the middle of doing a house move. Like, to have that much money gone, poof, it's a blow. It's a hit. And the bank weren't very understanding or cooperative, I guess. And I just tried to carry on. But I was still like protesting it to an extent. It's like, I understand why you're doing what you're doing. I understand why this looks dodgy. Why one wouldn't believe me. But like, I, in good faith, received some money, and I accepted the money that I received. Like, it's so daft. But in my protesting of this, my bank account got closed, and I only banked with one person, one bank, and it was not very helpful to lose that account and to then be like, hey, so all your money is going to be sent to you at an indeterminate point in the future. We're going to send you a check with your balance, and that will come at some point. That wasn't helpful. But just the sheer timing of it, just the sheer timing of it, where I was trying to find, just trying to find a place to live and pay for things. And I had to do all my day-to-day banking via, I had to do it via cash and through PayPal because that was the only other forms of like where I had my money outside of the bank account that was just closed. So I had to pay a whole deposit on this new place, which I am fingers crossed going to be moving into. And I'm like, I'm happy to pay this money, but do you accept cash? I'm not dodgy, I promise. And it sucks for me because I'm trying to convince that I am viable and good and that I gig enough and I teach enough that I make enough money to afford this place. But like it was just such a ball ache. Eventually, at time of recording now, I've got a new bank account at another bank, and I've received my balance from the old place, so I can start life afresh now from a banking sense. But my tax return is going to be a ball ache trying to trace everything that I have done so far. It's going to be such a challenge. The worst part about everything came from when the agent for this new house wanted me to send bank statements in PDF form, and I wasn't able to log in to my bank. So what happened was I was on the phone with the bank speaking to four different agents over the course of like an hour and a half, trying to go, hey, you've closed my account, send me my statements, please, just so I can carry on with this. And just being sent around in circles with, again, a bank that just wasn't very cooperative. I managed to get the issue sorted in the end, but it was just such a huge amount of stress, you know, for well, it was already a very turbulent period as I try and not just figure out and secure a new place to live, but also then go through this whole process of packing down everything and moving again. And this is like it's tough, and things have been turbulent for me, and I apologize for the lack of content. I've been doing stuff, posting little bits where I can, but I also understand I've disappeared a little off the face of the earth. Granted, my social media is mainly towards my original music now and the things that I'm doing there. I'm seldom posting about my covers, like my covers gigs. I've started to try and showcase the singles that I've been releasing this year. I've got I Never Saw My Father Cry, the new single that's coming out on Friday, the 15th of December. So do make sure you go check that out. Pre-save it, etc. Plug. But yeah, I understand I've been doing less collaboration videos outside of the festivals that I was at. Those have passed, those collabs have done. I've not been doing things like trying to hunt people down in the rest of the year. I've just been trying to crack on with the rest of my life at the moment. And thanks for bearing with me. And I'm sorry for. I'm grateful for your understanding and for your support. When I posted a month ago about me having to move house, like I love the outpouring of love from you guys. So I thank you for that. And I hope you can take this video with the same sort of response or the same sort of sentiment at the very least. And I guess final thoughts. This is so daft. If you are going to send me a check or a large sum of money, at the very least, just put a note with it so I can explain it to the bank. Please. Like, thank you, Mrs. Crow, for sending me this stupid amount of money, but like whether they meant it to or not, it has caused such ramifications and such a headache for me. So yeah, like I said, if you're gonna send me money, please put a note in there at the very least, so I can, just explain it to the bank and avoid this same kind of headache again. But yeah, thanks for watching, and go stream the new single, all that jazz. For fuck's sake.